This week on the Digital Coffee, Facebook launched its Christmas marketing guide and it's definitely worth a read. What is going on with TikTok? And Instagram is going to allow you to pin comments. But what would you use it for? All that and more after this. Good morning, and welcome to the Digital Coffee. This is your weekly dose of digital marketing and social media news for small business. My name is Amanda Webb, and we've got a fun-packed show in front of you this day. I'm going to have to start by saying I'm a little bit discombobulated. I love that word. I'm a little bit discombobulated this week. So if I stumble over my words a little bit, will you forgive me? It seems wrong to talk about Christmas in July, doesn't it? And if you're in America, the holiday season, it feels wrong to talk about it right now. But actually, now is the perfect time to be planning. And it's not just me that is encouraging you to plan. This week, Facebook launched a Christmas marketing guide, and I read it and I think it's brilliant. I would really suggest that everyone reads it. They've picked out some key trends and given you some suggestions of the type of things that you can do. Obviously, they're trying to sell ads, so they tell you about the Facebook ads you should be running. But there's some really good information in there. And of course, this Christmas is going to be different to other Christmases. Some of the things will seem the same and some of them will seem different. So let's have a look. Here are some of the trends that Facebook pointed out. Firstly, people are going to continue to want to shop online or use a click and collect service. So if you're not really ready with your online store at the moment, you can do click and collect, which people are also comfortable using. If you're developing an online store, you need to go through your processes now. But it's not just e-commerce, is it, that sells at Christmas? You could have a service-based business. I know a lot of you on this call now do. And even then, you want to make your website very user-friendly for that time of year when people may want to buy from you. Secondly, self-gifting is a thing. And I know it is spending money on ourselves on these little things where we may have been spending it on going out before. And apparently this trend is going to continue into the Christmas season. So people are shopping for others, but they're also treating themselves to a little something. So how can we tap into that? And again, for service-based businesses, this could be big because people could treat themselves to a little bit of marketing consultation. You know what I mean? I treat myself when I treat my business too. My button pressing machine, the new button pressing machine, that was a treat. Thirdly, Christmas is a time when people will buy from businesses that they've never bought from before. It could be the first time that they do business with you. So this is a huge opportunity. You need to be thinking about building your audiences now, building engagement on all your social networks now. Start seeding what it is that you do and what it is that you sell. So when Christmas comes, you're at the top of their mind and they might just give you a go. And finally, big sales days. Some people are going to find that their budget is a little tighter this year. So where Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Small Business Saturday, I discovered there's a day called Singles Day that's big in Asia, but it's beginning to come over here. And that is the 11th of November. And also there's going to be a new day called 12/12. I don't even know what's behind 12/12, except it's supposed to be more small business focus. So you need to look at these sales days. You need to decide, are you going to do anything for them? Because actually it's fine if you're not, but you need to make that decision and put in a plan if you are going to try and utilize one of these, because obviously there's loads of competition. So that's just a few tips from that Facebook Christmas marketing guide. And of course, you can spend an hour with me, no charge, if you join, wrong pointy finger again, my festive marketing masterclass, which is called the Fabulous Festive Marketing Masterclass, which is almost a tongue twister. If you sign up now and pre-register, you'll guarantee your slot, and I'll look forward to talking to you about that. What would you do if the social network that you liked the most, that you used the most for marketing, went away overnight? What would you do if your biggest competitor disappeared overnight? Well, these two things are related because, in case you hadn't noticed, TikTok has had a few issues this week. India banned TikTok and over 50 other apps owned by China this week. Now, this is part of an ongoing feud, maybe I'd call it, between India and China. So it's not necessarily to do with TikTok itself, but the problem is that India had so many TikTok users. They'd actually enabled it in lots of different languages that were spoken in India. They'd invested a lot of time in their Indian audience, and there were a lot of people, Indian influencers, using TikTok. So when it disappeared, it was pretty devastating for both TikTok and its users. Now, it may come back. TikTok released this statement saying that they were working with the government to see if they could comply with what they needed to bring TikTok back. But in the meantime, Instagram stepped in. Instagram have stepped in with a tool called Reels. Now, Reels has been tested elsewhere, and it is their alternative to TikTok. It's a bit like when Instagram stories popped up and stole Snapchat. That's what's happening with Reels. And Reels is, if I can get it up here, basically you'll be able to make 15-second videos, multi-clip videos with music or a soundtrack on them. So basically, I'm sure it won't be fully featured when it comes out, but basically it is TikTok. It is their version of TikTok. They released it, or they're testing it in India. I think it was yesterday. So they were really hot off the mark after the app got banned, and people in India are embracing it already. How does it work? It's actually part of Instagram. So when you swipe into your stories interface, now you won't just have stories and live, you have stories, live and reels. So you'll be able to skip across the reels. You'll be able to create your video and upload it. It seems it's going to be a little bit like IGTV, which means you'll have users will have a tab for their reels aside from their stories. And it will also appear in the Explore tab. Now, also, I should mention that America this week, Donald Trump has announced he's considering banning TikTok. Well, he said he's going to, but it's in review, and it's in review for security. And to be honest, I don't think you're going to find anything you wouldn't find in Facebook, because TikTok has made some changes recently. The UK government also has it in review. Australia is looking at it. So this could be a worldwide ban on TikTok just because it originated in China. Now, my initial reaction to this is they're late. They're late to this, because if you've been watching this show, you know that TikTok recently moved its headquarters to Seychelles. So it's no longer a Chinese company. It's based in the Seychelles, which means they have no obligation to the Chinese government. They also appointed an American CEO. They also limited access to their database to their Chinese workers. They really identified this as a problem ahead of time, and they've moved out of there. And that's why I think the security issues that people will be investigating in Australia, the UK, and the US may come to nothing. But in the meantime, Instagram stepped in there and snapped it up. Now, I don't think you should be as, what would the word be? Nasty as Facebook have been in the past with Snapchat and TikTok, and try and take away their audience. But if a business like yours closes down, and sadly we're going to see a lot of that, you have an opportunity to step in and mop up their audience, to give the people who shop from them what they really want from you. So to keep an eye out for that, and even maybe work with those businesses that are closing down. Do it in a friendly way rather than a hostile way. Instagram wants to help you sell. We've been talking about Pinterest a lot as the place that you need to be if you are an e-commerce business. But it is clear over the last few weeks that Facebook and Instagram, and we'll talk about WhatsApp in a minute, are all fighting to help you sell your stuff online. I think this is smart, because obviously there's a trend, I wonder why, in online sales at the moment. So all of these people want to grab a piece of the pie. But this week, Instagram started testing an Instagram shop tab. This new shop tab will replace the heart where you get your notifications on your home feed. So instead of the heart, you'll have this little shopping bag. And when you click onto that, you'll be able to see items for sale, firstly from the businesses that you follow. And I love this because you've already shown allegiance to those businesses by following them. You're obviously interested in what they sell. So straight away, you're going to see items from those businesses. You'll also see suggested things for you, which is also interesting. And you'll be able to search by category. Now, why I love that they're actually featuring the businesses that you follow, there'll be less worry about where you're buying from. Because I know that sometimes you buy something on Instagram and when it arrives in the post, well, it's nothing like, it's not the quality you were expecting, it's nothing like you expected, or sometimes it just doesn't arrive at all, and sometimes it doesn't arrive for ages. So what I like about this is it will be encouraging us to buy things like jewelry from the people we have chosen to follow. So I think this is great. The notification tab hasn't gone completely. You'll be able to get the heart thing on your profile. It will still be in the same place. So you'll be able to see notifications there. And they are also moving a symbol up next to the direct message tab. So you'll be able to access them there. And I think one of the problems with Instagram is Facebook has taken it and keeps adding these new features, but we are really limited on the simplicity of the app to where they can put these new features. One of the reasons I think a lot of people won't migrate from TikTok to Instagram unless they're forced to is that it is just becoming an uncool app. Ask your kids. Tell me what they say. Instagram is aiming to give you more control of the conversation on your posts by allowing you to pin comments. So these comments will stay right at the top of the comment feed once you pin them. You'll be able to pin up to 3. I can't see if I've got this yet though, because I don't have 3 comments on any of my recent Instagram posts. So there's the first question I've got for you. Do you get a lot of comments on Instagram? Do you? I think the nice thing about this feature is that you will be able to get a little bit more control on the conversation by maybe pinning the tweets that start or would spark positive conversations. So things that would spark other people to get into the conversation and keeping it all very positive. Or maybe you could pin things where people said how wonderful your products are or how fab you are. You could use it for customer testimonials in that way. Or if you were running a competition, maybe you could pin some of the entries or the winners at the top. And I think the nice thing about this is people will have to read those 3 comments or up to 3 comments if they want to read the rest. So it sets a tone for the rest of the conversation. However, we need to get more comments, right, for this to be effective. And Instagram isn't something I spend a lot of time on, so I wouldn't necessarily see when the comments come in. I do think it gives you that control and the positivity. And actually, even if you wanted to make a bit of a thread rather than just posting, and this has just come into my head, rather than just posting a big caption, you could almost do it like a Twitter thread and pin the 3 comments that you left afterwards. That might work really well. Be interested to hear what you think you might use it for. Would you pay for an ad-free Twitter? Would you pay to get extra features on Twitter? Would you pay to get exclusive content from creators on Twitter? Well, one of those things might actually happen. We don't quite know what, but one of them. Because this week, Twitter put out a job listing that included this phrase: "We are building a subscription platform. This is a first for Twitter." And the world went crazy. Stock prices for Twitter went up. People were talking about it all over Twitter, but none of us really know what it means. And Twitter won't comment. In fact, Twitter took down that section from their job listing. So what is this Project Griffin? Is what it's called. What is this Project Griffin? What could subscriptions look like on Twitter? And is it something we'd go for? Well, firstly, if you are creating a lot of content, you could use this like you use Patreon, or there's other subscription services where people can sign up Twitch and get a bonus content from you. Now, this can't just be tweets, right? It's going to have to be like Twitter Live, or maybe some Twitter videos, or some exclusive content. It can't just be to see all my tweets, you have to subscribe to me. That's not an incentive enough. It could be good for creators or people that do stuff like this Facebook Live. If I ran this on Twitter, I could make it exclusive content. Don't worry, I won't, but it could be that sort of thing. So that's option one. Option two could be that you will get extra features if you sign up for a subscription. So on top of all the lovely bits and pieces that you've got, maybe you will get some additional business features, maybe advanced analytics, or we don't know what those features might be, but that could be the subscription service. So that's the second option. The third option is that you'd get an ad-free Twitter. And I think that could be big, because I know a lot of people are tiring of seeing ads. People hate seeing ads. And if you paid a little subscription, that would cover the money that you get, that Twitter get from showing ads to you. That would be a really nice income stream for them. And it would be a good way for people who don't want ads, and we know that's increasing, to get the feed that they want. So which one of those would you go for? To be honest, I don't mind seeing ads, but it would be a bit of a headache if a lot of social networks did this and got rid of ads, because of course we use ads to promote our services. On the other hand, it would be good to get the reassurance that Twitter had a second income stream so that they were able to be profitable, which a lot of social networks aren't. You'll have to let me know what you think. Who's using WhatsApp for Business? WhatsApp for Business has just launched some fabulous new tools which make it even more appealing. WhatsApp wants to be the way that your customers communicate with you. And I think by giving us these new features, they may be encouraging us to use it more. If you haven't downloaded the WhatsApp Business app, I find it slightly annoying because I can't have my personal app and my business app. So I can't separate my friends from my business, but it is good because you can have things like out of office replies. You can have quick replies. So it's very quick for you to get back to customers. You can set up customer lists and see where they are in the funnel. There's all sorts of cool bits that you can do. They've launched some new features this week. First up, you'll be able to get a QR code. So QR codes are actually a thing again, because you can scan them directly from an iPhone. You just take a photo of it and it will bring you directly through to the tool. And this could be good for bricks and mortars business. You know, you can put it up in the window so that when you're closed, people can still get in touch with you. You can put it on websites. You can put it all over the place, making it easy for people to contact you. The second thing that they've added is a bunch of stickers. So you may not be aware of this because I don't do it very often. I don't know if you're as bad on WhatsApp as me, but you can actually update your status. You can share kind of like WhatsApp stories. And they've added some stickers to WhatsApp stories that we're open or reopening soon, or all stickers related to the current situation, which could help businesses notify the people who are connected to them on WhatsApp, you know, what's going on with their business. But those aren't the two most exciting things. The most exciting thing is that you'll be able to share product catalogs. Facebook own WhatsApp, right? So they're in on this e-commerce thing too. You'll be able to share products with your customers in a conversation, and they'll be able to click straight through to buy them. So when we look at that and we put it with what Facebook and Instagram are doing with shops, they're trying to push their Christmas marketing guide, all of that leads to e-commerce. We know that e-commerce is going to continue to be a thing even after this current crisis is over. And I think it's very smart to use these tools and use every tool you possibly can that you get for free from Facebook to promote your business. If you reply to a lot of stuff on YouTube, it can be a full-time job. You know, if you get a lot of comments, and actually on any social network, if it's Instagram, you're getting all those comments, Twitter, anywhere, replying to comments can take you a long time. So YouTube are launching a type of smart reply, and we've seen this on LinkedIn. You can even see it in Gmail, and those are based on conversations that you're having. But this is actually based on your own behavior. YouTube will look at the comments that you leave regularly, and it will base the smart replies on what you say. So if I say, "You're amazing," an awful lot, it will pick that up as a smart reply. And when they think it is right, they will suggest that as a reply for me. So it's going to start like that, but it's going to continue to learn. The more comments you leave, the more it's going to learn. In fact, and this is my fear, one day it might actually be able to mimic you so accurately that you don't need to leave replies to comments at all, which I just find scary. Am I wrong to find that scary? I love this feature. I love AI, but I also find it a little bit worrying for the future.